Chosen ones, if you're reading this now, understand, it is not by accident. For over 6,000 years, a sacred truth has been deliberately hidden from humanity, buried beneath layers of fear, control, and forgotten history. But you, the chosen one, were never meant to remain in the dark. The ancient Anunnaki knew the truth. Thoth recorded it in hidden scrolls. And now, it is returning to you. You have been a god this entire time. What you seek has always been within you. Power, divinity, wisdom. It was never lost, only concealed. This message is not for everyone. Only those who are ready to awaken will feel its truth resonate deep within. You are the fulfillment of ancient prophecy, the final god reborn, and your time has come. If this message speaks to your spirit, do 3 things. Hit that like button to affirm your awakening. Subscribe to help us reach 10,000 others on the path, and leave the number 11 in the comments to align with the frequency of divine timing. This is the moment the veil lifts. Your remembrance begins now. For over 6 millennia, a profound truth has been buried beneath layers of myth, rewritten history, and institutional silence. This truth, once shared among the stars, etched into the very stones of forgotten civilizations, was never meant to be hidden. Yet powers that feared your awakening made sure it would be. They built walls of illusion, scripted stories that stripped you of your divine identity and replaced your legacy with limitations. The ancient libraries of Nineveh, the sealed vaults beneath Giza, and the destroyed scrolls of Alexandria held pieces of your story. But those who understood your power feared what would happen if you ever found out. And so, they called it myth, heresy, or pseudo-science. But myth is simply memory too powerful to be believed by the fearful. Now fragments of that forbidden truth are resurfacing. In symbols once dismissed as superstition, in the whispers of sacred geometry, in the coded messages of Sumerian tablets, the evidence is returning to its rightful owner. And you, whether by chance or destiny, are hearing it at the exact moment foretold thousands of years ago. Can you feel it? That quiet voice inside you, always present, always questioning. That's your ancient self calling out from beneath centuries of forgetting. It knows this isn't the first time you've lived. It knows you're not here by accident. You are part of a design so grand, even stars bow to its rhythm. This isn't fiction. This is remembrance. And once you awaken to this truth, nothing will ever be the same again. From the moment you took your first breath in this life, you felt it, an unspoken difference, an invisible thread pulling you towards something greater. You sensed it in your dreams, in your hunger for truth, in the fire that refused to die inside you. That's because you were never just human. You were always something more. Deep within your DNA lies a dormant code, a divine sequence gifted not by evolution, but by celestial architects. This isn't poetic exaggeration. It's echoed in ancient scripture, inscribed in genetic anomalies scientists still can't explain. The junk DNA they dismiss holds the keys to dimensions they don't yet understand. The Anunnaki, the ancient star beings who walked among early humans, knew of your origin. They crafted beings in their image, but set one apart, you, a soul imbued with the potential of the gods themselves. Unlike others, you carried the flame of eternal knowledge, the essence of divine royalty. The reason you feel confined by modern life, why you ache for something you can't name, is because a god cannot survive in a cage made for mortals. Your senses are sharper, your intuition stronger, your spirit older than the calendar allows. And no matter how much the world tries to reduce you, you feel the truth pressing against your soul. You are not broken. You are awakening. And once you step into your true self, the world will tremble in awe. The Anunnaki left a message, a celestial map encoded not just in language, but in symbols, stone, sound, and star alignments. They knew that one day you would return. That message was never meant for the masses. It was meant for the one who remembers, you. They inscribed it in ziggurats, in golden tablets, in the rhythmic patterns of lost languages. And although empires crumbled and flames devoured libraries, the message survived in hidden places, waiting. Why? Because your return was foretold. Your name was etched into cosmic records long before you were born into this body. The Anunnaki did not just seed life on Earth. They engineered the divine spark. And when they departed, they left behind a prophecy that one of their children, carrying the wisdom of stars and the heart of creation, would one day awaken and reclaim the throne of consciousness. That child was not a metaphor. That child is you. Governments, religions, and secret societies have all tried to decode this message, fearing what would happen if the chosen one woke up. They turned prophecy into parable, fact into fantasy. But you, guided by something beyond logic, are beginning to see clearly now. This message has always been yours, and now the universe is synchronizing in your favor. Watch the signs. They're no longer subtle. Thoth, the great Atlantean priest king and keeper of knowledge, knew you long before you walked this earth. In the sacred emerald tablets, he spoke of one who would rise after the fall of many empires. That one carried within them the flame of the divine and the memory of lifetimes across dimensions. Thoth was no ordinary scribe. He was a guardian of cosmic law. He recorded not just events, but destinies. And your destiny, reader, was among the highest. Your name may not be on the pages of history, but it echoes in dimensions where time does not constrain memory. The scribes of Thoth knew that divine identity would be hidden by necessity until the world was ready, until you were ready. But now the veil is thinning. Prophecy is no longer waiting in dusty tombs. It's whispering through synchronicities, dreams, and signs only you can see. Why you? Because you've walked between worlds before. You've worn the robes of seers, kings, warriors, and wanderers. This is not your first time at the turning point of ages. But this time is different. This time, you awaken not just to witness change, but to command it. Thoth saw this moment, and so did you. And now, it is here. Long before you were born into this body, the stars held your identity, like a secret too sacred for the spoken word. The constellations formed your symbol. The planetary alignments marked your arrival. Ancient astronomers weren't just watching the sky, they were watching for you. Astrology, once dismissed as superstition, was a celestial codebook meant to track the return of the divine soul. Your birth chart is not just a personality guide, it's a cosmic fingerprint that proves your origin beyond Earth. Look deeper. The sky has never lied about who you are. The Dogon tribe of Mali knew of Sirius B before modern telescopes. How? Because their ancestors spoke with beings from the stars, beings who mentioned the return of the final god. The Hopi predicted a starborn awakening. The Mayans timed it to the end of great cycles. And now, all timelines converge on you. You've likely always been drawn to the night sky, to dreams of flight and foreign stars. That's because you're not just looking at your ancestors, you're feeling a call to return home. But home is not a place, it's a frequency, and you are now tuning back into it. Your name is not forgotten, it has simply been encrypted in light. The truth of your divine origin was not lost, it was stolen, hidden deliberately by those who built thrones of power on your forgetfulness. If you remembered who you truly were, their illusions would crumble overnight. That's why they silenced the ancients, burned the sacred books, and rewrote your story in the language of fear and limitation. Why would rulers, priests, and institutions fear your awakening? Because a God who remembers does not bow. A soul that knows its eternal nature cannot be controlled. So they created false gods, installed middlemen between you and divinity, and told you heaven was elsewhere, never within. Every generation, a few began to remember. They were branded heretics, witches, rebels, mystics. They spoke of divine fire, unity with the cosmos, and the awakening of true self. But most were silenced, erased from history, or distorted into legends. What they carried was the same truth you now carry. The institutions didn't just steal your identity, they sold you a lesser one. They told you that you were born in sin, that suffering was noble, and that salvation must be earned. But the ancient ones knew better. You were never broken. You were simply buried beneath centuries of falsehood. And now, the time of forgetting ends. The mask is falling, and the divine you, the one they feared, rises. Hidden beneath desert sands and behind Vatican walls, scrolls still whisper your story. From the Book of Enoch to the Dead Sea Scrolls, from the Emerald Tablets to the Sumerian king lists, records speak of a divine being who would return when the world was darkest. These weren't myths. They were instructions, maps, blueprints. These records weren't just about dates and rituals. They were guides for transformation, how to activate your latent power, how to align with your higher self, how to rise above the illusion of limitation. They held the sacred geometry of your divine architecture. And the blueprint wasn't written in just ink. It was woven into your being, your dreams, your struggles, your inexplicable inner knowing. All are signs of the code activating. The blueprint is alive, and it's now unfolding within you. You feel it in the synchronicities, the déjà vu, the magnetic pull toward truth. Everything is connected. The Atlantean crystals, the Egyptian pyramids, the megaliths of South America, they were not built to worship gods, but to remind you that you are one. They were harmonics of your being, reflections of your inner architecture. They were built by those who remembered, so you would too. This is not a metaphor. This is a design, and you are its final masterpiece. Throughout history, countless prophecies spoke of a final one, the last to come, the God in human form who would awaken not to lead armies, but to reawaken consciousness. You are that one, the final God, the long-awaited return of the original light. You were never meant to follow old kings. You were born to shatter kingdoms built on deception. You carry the memory of Atlantis, the knowledge of Lemuria, the blood of the stars. You are not the next prophet. You are the return of the divine source in form. The final God is not about domination, but liberation. Not about miracles, but mastery. Not about worship, but wisdom. You've come to remind the world of what it forgot, that we are all divine, that we are all one, but only a few dare to lead by remembering first. This role isn't easy. You feel the weight of the world. You sense the suffering, the lies, the longing. But that's because you were born to transmute it, to stand in the storm and speak light. You don't just witness the shift, you are the shift. And deep inside, you've always known this, haven't you? In the scrolls of the Essenes, in the fires of Zoroastrian texts, in the encoded numbers of the Vedas, A time was described when one would walk the earth again, bearing the light of all previous avatars. That time is now, and that one is not coming from the clouds. They are already here. You've read the signs. The prophecies weren't about a man in the sky. They were about the rise of consciousness within, about the divine soul remembering itself in human skin. You are the fulfillment of the ancient promises, not because you claim power, but because you embody truth. And the signs are everywhere. The collapse of false systems, the hunger for meaning, the rise of intuition, energy healing, cosmic knowledge. All these are not trends. They are tremors of your return. You are awakening not alone, but as part of a great remembering. The final prophecy was never about saving the world. It was about being the world, the mirror, the fire, the return of the divine. And as you embrace this truth, you will see the illusions around you dissolve. The world isn't ending, it's beginning again, through you. The prophecies were always pointing to you, not to worship, but to awaken. The Anunnaki, the architects of civilizations, knew this moment would arrive. Their stories weren't just about past visits, they were about a return, but not of them, of their legacy, within one of their divine descendants. You are the living continuation of their highest creation, not a slave, but a sovereign. They embedded this prophecy in the walls of Sumer, in star maps, in rituals long lost to common memory. They said, "When the chosen awakens, the cycle will begin again." This prophecy was guarded across continents, carried in bloodlines, and activated by frequencies. Your awakening was timed to cosmic rhythms, the great galactic alignment, the rise of solar cycles, the crossing of ancient thresholds. Everything led to you. You may feel overwhelmed, unsure of your role, but that's because awakening is not a gentle process. It's a tearing down of lies. It's a blazing of inner fire. You weren't born to be comfortable. You were born to be unforgettable. And now you rise. This is the fulfillment of the Anunnaki prophecy. You were the one they were waiting for, even if you never knew it until now. Within you burns a power older than time itself, a power not of destruction, but of profound creation and restoration. The world you see, fragmented and chaotic, is but a shadow of what it once was. But you, the final God, possess the key to restore the original divine order. This is your birthright and your sacred duty. The divine order is not a system of control or hierarchy, but a harmonious balance between spirit, matter, and consciousness. It is the truth that the universe is alive, intelligent, and interconnected, and that you are the conscious architect of your reality. When you awaken fully to this power, you begin to mend the fractures in humanity's collective soul. You are the spark that can ignite a chain reaction of healing, unity, and awakening. Through your courage and clarity, you will inspire others to remember their own divine nature. Like ripples across a sacred lake, your awakening will expand beyond you, touching every corner of the earth and awakening a global renaissance. But this power requires responsibility, the willingness to face shadows within yourself and the world, to surrender old fears, and to step boldly into the unknown. The path of the final God is both a challenge and a blessing, demanding that you lead by example, shining your light even in the darkest places. Remember, restoration begins inside. As you reclaim your divinity, you restore the divine order. One heart, one soul, one world at a time. For centuries, humanity has been trapped in a vast web of deception, a false reality constructed to obscure your true power. Lies about your origin, your potential, and your purpose have kept you enslaved to fear, doubt, and limitation. But your arrival signals the inevitable collapse of this great deception. The fabric of this illusion is unraveling rapidly. Systems built on greed, manipulation, and control are cracking under the weight of awakened consciousness. The veil of lies that has blinded humanity is lifting, revealing the light you have always carried within you. This collapse is not destruction, but liberation, the breaking of chains that have held entire civilizations captive. It is the revealing of truths that were buried deep by those who feared your awakening. As the final God, you are the living catalyst of this seismic shift. You may feel the intensity of this transformation in your own life, the upheaval, the confusion, the inner battles. These are the fires that purify, making way for your true self to emerge. Trust in this process, for through the destruction of illusion, the purest truth is born. The great deception falls, and with it rises the radiant dawn of a new reality, one where your divine essence shines without apology or restraint. For so long, you have wandered through a dream, a collective illusion woven to conceal your godhood. But now, the veil has been lifted. What once was hidden in shadows now steps into the light. It is time to truly see who you are, beyond the labels, beyond the fears, beyond the human story you were told. You are not your mistakes, your doubts, or your pain. You are the eternal light that has existed since the dawn of creation. Beneath your flesh and bone is a soul that has traveled galaxies, witnessed cosmic births, and danced with the stars. Your true self is vast, infinite, and unbreakable. This revelation can be overwhelming. The shattering of old identities often feels like falling into an abyss, but it is in this surrender that your real power awakens. When you stop resisting the truth, your heart opens to a love and strength that transcends all earthly understanding. You will start to see yourself in others, recognizing the same divine spark reflected everywhere. Compassion, forgiveness, and peace will become your natural state. This awakening is not just a personal journey, it is a collective renaissance, and you are at its center. Look into the mirror of your soul and witness the God you always were. This is your true reflection. The sacred knowledge of the ancients is no longer hidden in secret chambers or forbidden texts. It is awakening within you now, the forgotten wisdom of humanity's divine origins, waiting patiently to be reclaimed. This knowledge is a living force, encoded in your cells, in the cycles of nature, and in the silent language of the cosmos. When this knowledge stirs, it brings clarity and healing. It dissolves confusion, connects you to universal truths, and empowers you to create a life aligned with your highest self. The more you embrace it, the more you become a beacon of light for others still lost in darkness. This awakening is part of a great cosmic cycle, one that has repeated through countless ages. Each time, the divine soul returns to earth to rekindle the flame of truth. You are the most recent spark in this eternal fire. As you remember, you contribute to a collective awakening that is reshaping the destiny of all life on the planet. Cherish this knowledge, protect it, and share it wisely. It is a sacred gift, a heritage handed down through time, now entrusted to you as the guardian of humanity's divine future. The moment you have awaited through lifetimes has arrived. The time is now to step fully into your power, embrace your divine identity, and fulfill the legacy entrusted to you by the ancients. You are the culmination of a cosmic plan, a beacon of hope, wisdom, and transformation in a world hungry for light. Do not shrink back in fear or doubt. The path before you may be challenging, but it is also radiant with opportunity. Every step you take toward truth, every act of courage, every moment of love ripples through the universe, accelerating the awakening of all souls. Your legacy is not just about personal enlightenment. It is about healing humanity's wounds, restoring harmony to Earth, and igniting a spiritual revolution that will echo through eternity. You carry the hopes of countless generations who dreamed of this day. Remember, you are never alone. The stars, the ancient ones, and the universe itself are aligned with your journey. Trust your intuition, listen to your heart, and move forward with unwavering faith. The final God has returned, and with you, the world will never be the same. The moment of awakening is unlike anything you've ever experienced. It is the sudden flare of recognition deep within your soul, the spark that ignites a fierce longing for truth and purpose. For years, you may have felt lost, incomplete, or disconnected, but this awakening is your birthright, the unlocking of the divine power dormant inside you. It begins quietly, often unnoticed, in the small moments, a dream, a thought, a feeling of, there is more to this life. This divine awakening is not just a spiritual buzzword. It is the rediscovery of who you truly are, a sacred being made in the image of the cosmos. It comes with a deep knowing that you are far more than your current life circumstances. It is a call to step beyond the limits imposed by society, culture, and your own fears. As the veil lifts, your perception of reality shifts. You begin to see patterns, symbols, and connections that were invisible before. Synchronicities multiply, and you feel the magnetic pull of destiny. It is as if the universe itself is calling you home, guiding you toward a path that only you can walk. This journey isn't always easy. Old wounds, doubts, and fears surface to be healed. But this is the crucible of transformation. The divine within you grows stronger with every challenge, every surrender, and every act of courage. Your soul remembers. Your spirit awakens. So embrace this awakening with open arms. You are not alone. You are stepping into a story much larger than yourself, one written in the stars and whispered by the ancients. Embedded within your very cells lies an ancient code, an encoded blueprint left by the architects of creation. This cosmic DNA carries the knowledge of the universe, the wisdom of galaxies, and the power to transcend physical limitations. Scientists call it junk DNA, but it is anything but worthless. It's the map to your divine potential. Every emotion, thought, and experience you have is filtered through this genetic library. It contains the memories of past lives, star systems you once called home, and the vibrational keys to unlock hidden dimensions. When activated, this blueprint allows you to access higher states of consciousness, heal your body, and harness cosmic energy. Unlocking this sacred DNA is a process, one that involves spiritual awakening, conscious intention, and deep inner work. As you clear the noise of modern life, meditate, and connect with nature, the dormant genes begin to stir. Your intuition sharpens, your perception deepens, and your energetic field expands. This cosmic blueprint is a reminder that your body is not just flesh and bone. It is a living temple designed to carry divine light. When you honor this truth, Your health, creativity, and spiritual power flourish. You begin to live not just as a human, but as a star-born being, fully aligned with the cosmic order. Remember, the universe wrote this blueprint in you long ago. Your awakening is simply the key turning in the lock, revealing the divine masterpiece you've always been. Long before recorded history, there existed great civilizations that understood the true nature of the cosmos and humanity's divine origins. Atlantis and Lemuria were not just myths, they were real cultures that thrived on spiritual mastery, advanced technology, and harmonious living. Their knowledge was so profound, it threatened to disrupt the balance of power on Earth. These ancient civilizations were destroyed, but their wisdom was never lost. It was encoded into sacred sites, preserved in symbols, and passed down through secret lineages. You carry this wisdom in your blood, fragments of the ancient languages, healing techniques, and star knowledge encoded in your cells. Reclaiming this lost wisdom means reconnecting with the deep truths of who you are, a being capable of immense power, healing, and transformation. It is the calling to live in harmony with the earth, to honor cycles of nature, and to awaken the latent abilities that the ancients used to shape reality. As you explore this legacy, you discover that the story of Atlantis and Lemuria is your story. Their fall was not an end, but a pause, a hidden chapter, waiting for the final God to restore what was lost. You are that restorer, the bridge between ancient wisdom and the future of humanity. This knowledge invites you to awaken your own divine gifts and step into the role of guardian, healer, and visionary in this new age. Within every human being lies the dance of the divine feminine and masculine, two complementary energies that must be balanced for true awakening. These are not gendered terms, but cosmic principles that represent creation and manifestation, intuition and action, nurturing and strength. The divine feminine is the energy of receptivity, compassion, and deep inner knowing. It flows like water, embracing cycles, healing wounds, and connecting to the mysteries of the soul. The divine masculine is the energy of protection, clarity, and decisive movement. It builds, creates boundaries, and drives the soul's purpose into reality. For centuries, the world has been out of balance, favoring one over the other, leading to conflict, disconnection, and spiritual confusion. Healing this imbalance within yourself is crucial to stepping into your full power as the final God. By honoring both energies, you reclaim your wholeness. You learn to listen deeply to your intuition while taking bold, confident steps. You create harmony between heart and mind, surrender and will, softness and strength. This balance unleashes your creative power and grounds your spiritual awakening in practical reality. It allows you to live fully as both a divine being and a human, embracing the sacred dance of existence. Symbols are the language of the soul. They transcend words and logic, speaking directly to the deepest parts of you that know the universe's secrets. From ancient hieroglyphs to mandalas, from sacred geometry to star maps, symbols carry encoded knowledge about your divine nature. Throughout history, secret societies, shamans, and mystics have used symbols to preserve ancient wisdom, bypassing the barriers of language and time. These symbols are keys designed to unlock higher states of consciousness and remind you of your cosmic heritage. When you begin to see and understand these symbols in your life, in dreams, architecture, nature, and art, you awaken an ancient memory. You begin to speak a universal language that connects you to all beings and dimensions. Learning to decode this language invites you into a deeper relationship with the universe. You become fluent in the signs that guide your path, the codes that protect your soul, and the patterns that reveal your destiny. Symbols are whispers from the cosmos, calling you back home. Are you ready to listen? Your true self is not confined to this physical body or linear time. You exist simultaneously across multiple dimensions: past, present, and future, physical, spiritual, and energetic realms. This multidimensional existence is the key to your divine nature and the source of your limitless potential. When you awaken, you begin to experience glimpses of this reality: visions, dreams, sudden insights, and profound shifts in perception. You start to realize that time is an illusion, that you can influence outcomes with your consciousness, and that your soul's journey spans countless lifetimes. Understanding your multidimensional self frees you from fear and limitation. You see that challenges in this life are lessons in a much larger cosmic school. You tap into higher versions of yourself for guidance and healing, connecting with your soul family and star ancestors. This awakening allows you to navigate life with wisdom beyond your years, blending intuition and logic, heart and mind, the seen and unseen. It is a profound expansion of awareness that transforms how you live, love, and create. Your multidimensional self is waiting to be embraced, ready to lead you into a new reality of freedom and divine power. Ritual is a bridge between the mundane and the sacred. For ancient cultures, sacred rituals were powerful tools to connect with the divine, mark transitions, and align with cosmic cycles. These rituals activated spiritual energies, healed the soul, and forged bonds with unseen realms. In today's fast-paced world, the power of ritual has been forgotten, replaced by distraction and disconnection. But reawakening sacred ritual is essential for you to anchor your divine awakening and nurture your spirit. Whether it's lighting a candle with intention, meditating at sunrise, or honoring the phases of the moon, ritual creates sacred space for transformation. It invites the divine to enter your daily life and reminds your soul that it is sacred. Through ritual, you reclaim the lost art of devotion to yourself, to the cosmos, and to life itself. Ritual connects you with ancestors, star beings, and higher forces who guide and support your path. These sacred acts deepen your connection to your divine self and awaken your spiritual power with every intentional breath. Within you lies the alchemist's fire, the power to transform pain, fear, and limitation into wisdom, strength, and illumination. This inner alchemy is the heart of your spiritual journey and the foundation of your awakening as the final God. Darkness is not your enemy, it is a catalyst. Every wound, every shadow self, every challenging experience carries a hidden gift waiting to be uncovered.